And here's the problem. This is a NFPA 1403 burn in my home state. We're filming, and we expressed our concern after we saw this, and they told us we could leave, that this is how they do business. The camera's turned sideways because you'll learn this in part 2. We call this the gangster grip. It increases your field of view, helps you see floor to ceiling. Yeah, it's catchy. People like it. But see the instructor looking into the burn room? I haven't taught you anything about thermal imaging yet. And tell me if you're okay with this instructor teaching 2 brand new kids with their brand new gear who just graduated firefighter 1 and 2 to fight fire this way. What's closed here, ladies and gentlemen? The nozzle. Now let's stand in front of the dragon's throat and admire it, because we're teaching, right? Now we're going to open the nozzle. Any of you pump operators in the room? Does this look like a properly pumped stream to you? What are these 2 firefighters going to do the very first fire they go to and they're on that nozzle by themselves? They'll fight it this way. I was corrected recently in lift. Whether you know it or not, we all need to be corrected. The student came up to me and said, "You called it a training scar." I have to disagree. I said, "I'm listening." He said, "A scar means it's healed and you've learned from it. This is a training wound. The fire service is still bleeding because of these actions." I was like, "Man, I'm going to quote you on that. First 3 times, and after that it's mine." So, is this a good idea, ladies and gentlemen? What is that $12 piece of plastic that's 2 to 3 millimeters thick, known as polycarbonate face piece, doing as they're getting hit with fast-moving convection currents at 300, 400, 500 degrees? Saturating and softening it. It softens at 290 and can fail upwards of 600 depending on the mask you're wearing. But let's think about this definition that you've heard before in your basic training called pyrolysis. What does that mean? If I'm heating up this desk, what is this desk gradually doing per pyrolysis? It's called off-gassing. It's the thermal decomposition of a substance through the action of heat. It gradually breaks it down into gases, which then what? Burn. So let's talk about pyrolysis from 3 perspectives. Remember I said I wanted you to look at this from the victim, their property, and you? The victim starts screaming in pain on a good Texas summer day. 109.4 degrees, direct contact with their skin, they're hurting. 113 to 118, they're experiencing alarm time, they're ready to fight you. Their property can start off-gassing or producing flammable vapors as low as 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Some are around 400 to 600 degrees depending on the product. Does it surprise you it's that low? And then you, as a firefighter, can be in trouble anywhere between 290 degrees and 572. Did you think it was that low? I'm going to share some information with you that's all out of the instructions per the manufacturer. Okay? This is the warning I went home and shared with my wife directly out of the PHMSA manual. If your PPE is exposed to radiant, convective, or conductive heat, you may be burned underneath to that ensemble with no warning, no sign of damage to that ensemble. Be constantly alert to the possibility of exposure to radiant, convective, or conductive heat. How are you going to do that if you wait until you feel pain? Are you telling me we're going to continue to wait to get hurt before we try to fix it? That's a reactive stance, not a proactive stance. See the target. Take the target out. This is Mark Falkenhand's mask. Do you realize every time we have had a change in the fire service, it has been due to 2 reasons: tragedy and litigation. This is his mask after 500 degrees at 148 seconds. You hear that? He's on the 3rd floor above where the fire flashed, trapped in a 1,000-degree flow path. He's at the back, the firefighter's at the front. Firefighter at the front makes the window and gets out. Mark does not. That was supposed to be Mark's last day on the job. He was supposed to go to work for the FBI the next day, training their EMS division. They asked why the ATF produced the most in-depth line-of-duty death study I've ever seen. You can watch for free on YouTube. It's called the ATF study of Mark Falkenhand's line-of-duty death. You can look it up. It's 2 one-hour videos, and it's very powerful. The part where he dies, they have a mannequin viewing from the face piece, looking out, playing his Mayday. If that doesn't affect you in a positive way that makes you say, I need to do something differently about the way I fight fire, perhaps we should look at a different occupation. Because it's not about being tough, it's about being smart and tough. Okay?